Well, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Big WICK Energy Podcast. We are from Ambitious Investing, and we're going to be interviewing Slade and Ali, who have joined the team now, but they started with me learning about 7 months ago and 5 months ago, and their journeys are crazy. So we're going to be talking about that, and then we're going to get into my journey, how I got to where I am, all of the things that I've been through, and the recent trades that I got into that have made me over $250,000. So stay tuned and let's get into it.
Tell me what you want.
Let's go. What's going on, everyone? We are going to be interviewing Slade today. Well, pretty much just talking about everyone's journey, I guess, coming into trading. Slade, he's been, how long's it been?
With you?
Yeah.
Been since November?
November last year?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's actually way shorter than what I thought it was going to be. And then before that, you were trading yourself.
Yep.
For how long?
I started pretty much when the hype was, so when the old, everybody went into the old COVID.
Yeah.
Then I think it was my uncle, and he was like, we should all get into investing into crypto and Tesla and all these things. And I had like a little bit of knowledge like back in high school, and but I didn't know too much about it afterwards. But then I was like, got it hooked up straight away from there. And then yeah, I just like started buying different courses, learning off the internet. Some people resonated with me, and then I was like, I was getting confused because I learned too much information.
So like when you first started getting into it and like the courses that you're buying straight away, what was that? Was that like ICT or?
Nah, one was well, he was like trading futures. That was like my first ever course that I bought. That's how I got onto like the whole Ninja Trader platform. And then yeah, it was like a cheap, like I think it was like $75 course, and it was like all about basic as like just what is a candle kind of a course. And then yeah, from there, that's how I learned about trends. And then went to this other one that was like all the way out in England. My nan got me into that. And it was like $10K for the course.
Yeah.
And like
shit.
Yeah, and I had to be with the mentor like maybe once or twice a week because he was busy with others. And then I was like, I still don't get it.
Wait, you paid for that?
Oh, my nan, she was like, I know you're getting into this, so I'll help pay for some of it.
Damn. Was it worth it?
I think it's worth it if you're more of like a long-term investor. Yeah. Because that's what they were into, eh?
Yeah.
They were more just onto the 4-hourly candles, but I wanted to be on the shorter time frames ones.
What did that course come with? For 10K, that's heaps. Like, is that one-time fee? You get lifetime subscription or?
No, it was like, just deal with a mentor, and then he just tells you exactly things, and then what is it? Like he'll say like, oh yeah, you just do your homework, and then once a week, like you'll get together with a bunch of other people that bought the course with him,
yeah.
and then you'll just like put up your pairs of like what you think is going to be happening within the next day or so, and then like that's how I knew all about the whole checklist. Oh no, not checklist. What's it called when you have one trading? You have like you can put like the little red, green little things next to the pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I learned about those.
Oh, the watch list.
Yeah, like how to put up a watch list.
Yeah.
10 grand for that.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. No, I was like, why did I even learn that? Could have just learned that by myself.
Yo, holy, that's nuts.
Paddy's thinking about putting his price up now. He's like, all right.
Shit, and only charging that much. What? So, like, with that 10 grand course, It was a guy in England.
Yeah, it's from England. Yeah.
So learning strategies from him as well.
Yeah, it was just like a trend line strategy. So it was just like if it broke past the trend, then they'd pretty much buy from there or sell from there on the higher time frame.
Crazy.
You know,
Profitable from it?
what was I?
What's the ROI on that, also?
We're still in drawdown right now.
Damn. Not got the 10K back yet.
Nah.
True. So, like when we first started talking, that was the mentor that you were talking about beforehand, yeah?
No, I actually found another one on TikTok just after him.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and his one was on like another cheap one from TikTok. And his one was all about the ICT concepts.
Mm.
Yeah, and like that's where I started to really like focus in on like what breaker structures were and like the fair value gaps and all those little POI kind of things.
Yeah.
But like it was like he just said those things but never explained why on those things. And like for me, I needed to know why.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
And so that's when I found you, and I was like, yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. So going from that guy that was charging you 10 grand, and then this other guy that was fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Like learning from those two people obviously started off your career in that.
Yeah.
And then so when we started talking, he was like real nervous to go with me, eh? Right, we like jumped on a call and he was saying stuff. He was like, "Oh, bro, like I've been doing it for like a little while. I've spent a bit of money on it. Like, it was basically just like a little bit of trust issues, eh? Like whether it was going to work or not.
Can I trust this Māori?
That's what it was. And it cracked me up too, because like at that time I was sort of just like, just starting out mentoring people. And yeah, when he jumped on, we jumped onto a call and we're like talking about it, and like he was just, sort of just displaying those sorts of things where he has learnt trading and shit before, but I guess not really things to take into use to make money.
Yeah.
Like a lot of very basic stuff, but not going into, I guess, the fundamentals of how and why the market does this thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So talk about like the difference going from that to, basically coming over and learning the course that we provide to everyone now. What the difference is?
I'd say the big difference is like we actually get to understand like how price moves, and like where liquidity is actually placed, and like the biggest thing, like I was saying just before, is why. It's not like like in my last one, it was like, oh, here is a breaker structure, here is a change of character, and then here's a fair value gap, and then enter off there. But like that was literally that was like no other explanations of like why there's a breaker structure or why there's a change of character, and like obviously he used different terminology, but yeah, it was pretty much just how the convo just ran, and then but yeah, with you it's like this is the reason why we have POIs, and these are like certain areas of where people like to get to, or look into for entering into buys or sells.
Yeah.
And when change of character actually happen, that's when we can see that price, needs a pullback to end up going up again or down.
Yeah.
So like just the whole explanation of whys was the biggest difference.
Yeah, mean. So Ali actually started. So that's Ali over there. We're going to get to him soon. Ask him some questions. But Slade, so when he started with me, like he knew a lot of stuff, to be honest, and it was more or less just the reasoning behind everything that we're, going into with the trades and stuff. So he's actually working with me now with Ambitious Investing, and like now we're starting to get into the podcast side of things, and Ali's just joined the team as well, and he's the He's the man with the cameras and stuff. But going into like your story, so you learnt trading beforehand?
A little bit, bro. Like I was, bro, my sister, she's the one that got me into trading. She was like, man, you got to jump on this. Like I reckon you'll crack this easy. This was like mid last year, so mid 2023. She'd been banging on about it for ages. And then at the end of last year, I was like, oh, I'll just look into it. Because I didn't really understand what anything was. Like, I was just like, oh, I kind of look scammy, you know? Like, hey, these guys driving Lambos, like, no way they're making, like, you know. Like, I see TikToks and people are making, like, 10K in, like, 2 seconds. Like, legit. Like, and I thought, I was like, nah, this is bullshit. Like, and then she bought a course. And she was like, oh, just have a look at this. Actually, but before that, she gave me $100 Black Ball account.
Yeah.
Bro, and I stayed up one night and I was just trading. Like I did demo first and I was like, fuck, this is pretty easy. And then I did that live $100 account and I like flipped that into 250, so I made 150 in one night and I was like, fuck, this is easy as
150 one night. What's that? Like 150%?
Right, 150%. I don't know what I was doing. Like, I thought I knew what I was doing. Like, I was just trading, like, I don't even know what I was doing, bro. I think I was just putting in, like, when the candles go up, I'll just jump in. Like, that was my strategy. Yeah. And then the next day, I jumped in again. Bro, lost it all. Blew the account, and I was like, fuck. Like, that felt shitty. I was like, man, I can't believe I just blew an account. Like, after winning that much money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's when I got into it, bro. So that was start of January.
This year?
Yeah, bro. This year. And then I just like my socials, bro, just all full of like trading now. And so I just got like, you know, just got heaps of like all these people to watch, just consuming so much information. I kind of had a like fair idea of like a basic SMC strategy was.
Yeah.
But like the fella that so my sister bought a course and this fella was trading. He was like intraday, so intraday SMC, doing like he'll execute on a 4-hour candle. And I was just like, fuck, it's too long, eh? Like, I didn't vibe it. And I was like, nah, like, I made that 150 that night just trading off 1 minute. Like, I need to learn how to trade 1 minute.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know, like, what I was doing, bro. And then I seen your TikToks. Bro, I remember I messaged you, too. I think I messaged you on Instagram. And I was like, cuz, man, like, keen as to join. And I think I saw something about signals because I jumped on a few signals and I was just copying people just to see like why they were entering here, why they were taking profit here. And heaps of them, bro, it was just like 1 to 2s. And then I saw your signals, bro, and you were getting like, bro, like what, like double digits, like everything was like over 1 to 10, and I was like, nah, can't be possible. I jumped on, and then I started using your signals, and I was like, fucking like making some decent coin, and I was like, damn, this is on. Like, I don't understand what you were doing, so that's when I bought your course, bought the education, bro, and it's like pretty cheap compared to everyone else that I was looking at.
I know.
Like,
oh shit, I better.
Yeah.
That's probably why I was sketched there.
It's
like too cheap.
I know. But like the course was on. Like I watched the first video I watched was Trading Ranges, bro. That was like my aha moment. Like damn, like I can read the charts like English now. Like just getting that simple thing down, Trading Ranges. Like yeah, that's what made me not profitable, but like you know on the way to being profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy. Crazy that you've gone from like January to now. Because what's May? Yeah, May now. 5 months.
I've been like putting in the work though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because you were jumping on every single live that we were doing.
Yo.
Like you must have been doing all that background work as well. And because like the craziest thing that I found is that day that you made, like, what was it, 28,000 in a day?
That was unreal, eh?
That was crazy.
I felt like the man.
But that was nuts. Because there was mostly trading GBP, JPY.
GJ, GJ EU. Like I just found, I think one night, like that week, it kind of clicked. And I was like finding the same setups on GJ on EU.
Yeah.
Like I was buying GJ and I was like, look at EU, and I was setting up for buys. And when you know you're buying EU, you know that UCAD's going to sell.
Yeah.
So then I was jumping in UCAD sells. Bro. Yeah, that was wild. Eh? I was like, wow.
So that's all the like correlating pairs that you. Yeah. Because that's crazy. So 5 months from like when you first started, and that first night when you had that 100K account, you went 150% in a day.
Yeah, that was unreal.
That's unreal. For starters, like knowing absolutely nothing. But I think in like hindsight, not hindsight, but when you're first starting out, like a beginner that doesn't know anything and they look at the markets like it's real, it looks like it's going to do something. Whereas when you start to learn a lot of the stuff that we try and put into the market, you sort of like overanalyze.
Right. Like, yeah. Like I got to that, I've been through that like a few times.
Yeah.
Like just too much information, second guessing everything. And like, bro, when I'm on the lives and I hear Bryce Hubby just like, they're just going in and making like, bro, I'm like, that was me at the start, you know, just like, you just go in, like, you don't care. But heaps of it's just psychology, eh?
Yeah. Massive psychology. And I think that's the difference too between someone that is going to be profitable for a long time compared to someone that's struggling to make profit. Yeah. Bro, that's nuts. So you went from that and then obviously learning for those couple of months and then with that funded account doing 28,000 in the night. Because I think like just before that you had put out into the community, Discord community, that your like checklist, what was it on Notable?
Yeah, Notion. So yeah, chucked up a checklist. It's basically just like my trading plan. Like I just remember, like I'll be on the Zooms and bro, I'll be talking about your trading plan. Like, does this fit your trading plan? And I didn't know what a trading plan was. I was like, what's a trading plan? So I just like like had a look online and people were just talking about like, you know, you gotta like have a minimum RR or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Like, don't risk more than 1% or stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of broke my trading plan down into like entry models. So kind of like a playbook. Yeah. And then I shared that to the group, and with that trading plan is like how I made the 28%. But all that stuff in the trading plan is pretty much what you guys teach in the course, just broken down into a checklist. Yeah.
Because like sticking to something like that is like the key to being consistent, but also being able to make that profit, and not, I guess, with the psychology side of things, pulling out of the trades too early.
Right. Yeah. Still learning that one.
Trying not to pull out so early.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the hardest thing when you're trading, is pulling out of the trades too early because you get a little bit scared, or you're in profit and you're like, you know, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I don't.
And, you know, that's fine as well. Like, you can be happy with the profits that you are going to be taking. But then again, like, after you see the trade play out, you question yourself, like, why did I actually pull out of that trade?
That's like Friday night, eh?
Friday night, did you...
Yeah, we traded together.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Oh, is it gold trade?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And I scaled in a few times. And if I just held my positions, bro,
he would have been up.
Like, because what did you like when we were on call? You were on call, right?
Yeah.
Did you enter off that 1 minute point of interest at 50%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I didn't. Because we were on call and like I was showing everyone like why we should be like where we can be trading it back down, and we caught that one to 2.5 or something. But explaining to everyone, because a lot of the people that were on that call were sort of like just first getting into being able to do that side of the trading, and like explaining to them too that with the pullback we shouldn't be looking for like the long-term buys. Once it comes back to the 50%, that's when we start getting in. And like I explain everything, like this is what we should be doing. We should be waiting for it to come back to here, enter into the buy, and then wait for it to create that high. Oh, yeah. Explaining all of that, and then like
And then it happened, eh?
going into that sell, like back down, made profit, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then didn't go into the buy off that 1 minute to trade it all the way back up. Like regrets. Regrets doing that.
It's hard though, when you're on the live, because you're like talking and explaining stuff to everyone, and you can't trade at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you jumped off, and I was like, "Picture Hari's trying to like find an entry to get back in."
Bro, straight up, because like I had pumped, because we were on that sell just off that POI. We were like trading it back down, and like it went really nice. Like it went a 1 to. It nearly had a 1 to 3, but what had happened, and it came into that 1 minute point of interest and then started going back up. And around there, I sort of just pulled out and was waiting for that change of character on the 1 minute. But it like came back down to like no man's land, like not really points of interest or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, because I had been in that sell beforehand, I was like, shit, should we be, like, trying to stick to the trading plan when like in my head, if we're looking at the 15, we had created higher high, higher low at that 50. Should have just went in there, stuck to the plan, but didn't want to get in again afterwards to, I guess, I don't know, not stick to the trading plan,
Especially when you made money that night, you just want to stay in profit, stay in the green.
Because for the week, like with the account that I was trading last week, I was up. Like going into Friday, I was already up like 32% or something. And like
just a casual.
Yeah, like I didn't want to. I guess I was happy at that point. I was like, yeah, I'm up 32%. Whether we go into this trade or not, like I don't really mind. But then it went into NYSE, bro, and I ended up doing like another 10%
on Friday
night. Saturday morning, I was trading US 30 and NASDAQ.
Oh yeah, we were in some buys and sells on NAS.
Yeah, because I traded that sell on NAS and US 30. And it sort of just broke. Like it came back up and it sort of just ended up breaking structure, coming back down. I had left my trade in, went to sleep. I was asleep at like 4 o'clock. Woke up at like 6 a.m. New Zealand time. For anyone that's watching overseas. And then I looked at my thing and I was up. It was like $1,100 up, and I was like, oh yeah, man, take that. And for that day, I started on 11,300. So, about 10% I was up. And then I was like, oh man. And usually around that time, I see NAS and US 30. They sort of like, if it's going to do what I think it does, it grabs liquidity and then starts going all the way back up.
Yeah.
Did that. Yeah. And so it grabbed liquidity and I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. Entered into a buy and two buys on NAS and US 30. And then it started trading it up and I was like, in profit. And I was like, yeah, man. Then it started to come back down. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take my profit. Kept going up. Went into like a point of interest.
Yeah.
And like at that point, I'm like, I'll just trade it. Bro, I went into sales on NAS and US 30, bro, and it just didn't stop going up. Bro, it didn't stop going up. At this point, I was up about $1,700. Should have just been happy with like taking another, I don't know, 15% for the day. Bro, I ended up losing like $1,300, ending the day with like $300 profit.
Did you have no stop loss?
What's that? Nah, bro, had no stop loss, which like, yeah, should have had a stop loss, you know. And like that's the other thing too, like not sticking to the trading plan. Didn't have a stop loss, and yeah, it just kept going. And at that point, you know, I was sort of like, because there was points of interest above as well. And I was like, well, surely it's going to get rejection from there. Surely it's going to get rejection from there. And it was getting some sort of rejection, and then it was coming back down. And like, I was like, oh, I could take this loss at like $300 and still be, you know, finish the day on over 10%. Wanted it all.
Greedy guy.
The greedy guy, bro. And that's what you don't want to do.
Yeah, you know, stick to the plan. Eh?
Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Yeah, so that was that. And like, when you put out that thing on Notable, what was it called?
Notion.
I hadn't even had like something like that.
True.
Like throughout my whole career, like I never really had like that sort of thing. Had it all in my head because obviously it's the way that I teach everyone. Like, wait for a breaker structure, pull back, blah blah blah. But never really had like check this.
Yeah.
And then start to go into it. But bro, it's such a game changer.
I had it, bro, because I had it on sticky notes, and I just have it like on my screen, and then I was like, oh, this is like pretty hoha, just like going through the notes. So I just chucked it in that Notion plan checklist.
Yeah,
and I think heaps of people messaged me about it. Like, oh, this is real helpful
from the group.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, like. Just remember, I've only been trading for a couple months.
Bro, it's crazy though. Like, and that's something that I like compared to like your guys' story. Like, you had been learning for a bit, but like properly getting into trading, understanding why from November, January, compared to like the journey that I took, which, bro, was like months and months of trial and error because I never really had like a mentor.
Key, bro. Major key.
Yeah, I never really had that sort of like mentor that I could talk to all the time. And I think that was the key component that I was missing, and which probably made me take longer than it should have to become profitable, and ended up losing like a lot of money in the start of my journey because of that reason. And it wasn't until like I actually started talking to a guy after about 14 months. Started talking to a guy who was like sort of just became my mentor, but I wasn't really paying. And he sort of just helped me with like the whole, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like, you can't predict where the market's going to go. You just got to go off like things that you see in the market, like things that are happening, because it leaves all of those little clues, and the market does play to particular patterns. And these aren't patterns that I'm talking about like head and shoulders pattern or triple tops, whatever. More or less patterns of like doing the same thing in price action, which we see, which is now sort of something that I've, I guess, what would you call it, like mastered?
Facts, so yeah.
Sort of mastered it at that point where now I can see it happening time and time again. So, that's what I teach everyone. That's what we sort of just stick to. But
I think it's key though to like, because everyone like when you watch podcasts and like Instagram and TikTok and stuff, everyone's talking about how good they are at the start. But like that's like it's been a tough journey, man. Like you know, I don't want to get anyone's like hopes up or feel like just because you're starting now, and you're not getting the same results as me, like, man, I've like been through some shit times. Like, hey, like, there've been times that I've been at the computer, like, fuck, why am I doing this, man? Like, this is, you know, like,
such an emotional experience.
Hard out, man. Reveals everything about yourself, eh?
Bro, it's crazy. Like the whole psychology and like emotional feels that you get from trading, what it sort of reveals, like it's the hardest thing mentally to get through is in trading. Like if you want to be challenged mentally, this is the thing to do. But that's what makes it hard, I think, because a lot of people's values around money is like money's everything because you can't live without it. You literally can't have a house or food without making money. And when it comes to trading and you're watching hundreds, if not thousands of dollars go into drawdown, and you can't handle like the fact that you could lose that, like there's no way that you're going to be profitable as a trader. And I think that's the harder concept for anyone to get past. Like they see, the videos that I put out now on like TikTok showing profits of myself or profits from you guys that have, been in the course for a little bit. And they see that, but they don't see all the mahi that's been put into it behind the scenes. And that's the biggest thing that like a little bit is like a misconception when it comes to trading, is how potentially easy it could be to make money, because it like theoretically is easy.
Yeah, it can be easy, hey.
Yeah.
Like, but it can be like so emotionally draining.
Yeah. And I think like if you can be patient and you can be, I guess, disciplined to like, wait for the stuff, see the things that are happening, stick to your trading plan, all of that, that's when you become a profitable trader. And it's not necessarily, like I would say most profitable traders these days are probably the most patient traders that are in the game. If you like get bored, one day you just jump on the chart and you're like, I actually want to place a trade. I want to place a trade.
That was me at the start.
Yeah.
That was me like 2 months ago. Like, like I'll be on the computer, open my computer up, jump into trading view. Bro, 5 minutes I'll be in a trade.
Yeah.
Like straight away, G. I'll be making up like changes of structure or like changing characters in my head and be like, yo,
That counts.
yeah, that's it. We're going back up. Oh, what? All right.
Hey, you like that guy with the make that life unprofitable?
Right. Did Slade tell you about that guy?
No.
We were just watching like different YouTube streamers, and there's this fella on YouTube, this Asian fella, and the title of his video was the journey of what was it?
Of an unprofitable trader.
He was
just
live
streaming, eh?
Right.
And he would leave like his shorts or long positions on, like all the previous ones throughout the day. Bro, they were all hit stop loss.
All hours, bro.
There was like 4 of them. And then he was like trading in the middle of the range, and he was like, "Yeah, I reckon it's gonna go down." And I was like, "Bro, watch this, it's gonna go up." Sure enough, hits him, stops him out, and then goes up or something. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, gambling. That man was gambling.
Bro, that's all it is. Like a lot of people compare this to like gambling as well, like, playing a poker machine, but you can't like jump onto the market and like just instantly think that you can go into a trade. Hey, like I think that's the biggest thing that like a lot of people struggle with when they are trading, is trying to do that and thinking like things are going to happen all the time. And we get a lot of people that end up joining like the signals. We're doing it like they're asking like, is trades going to go in? Is, blah, blah, blah. Is there going to be trades on gold today? Like you never really know until like your setup's actually happening. And that's why we put the charts and stuff out. So just to show people like what we're looking at. Because like when we first started the signals, all we're really doing was just as soon as we enter into a trade, we'd send it rather than giving them the preempted, this is what we're looking at sort of thing.
Yeah. Like the analysis.
Yeah, like the analysis. And even like recently, like getting into the copy trader, like.
Right. Everyone's just like, hey, you been trading today?
Yeah.
Like,
that's the biggest question is like, bro, is there going to be trades on the copy trader? Like it's exciting because everyone's like, they see the profits, but sort of have to explain to everyone too. Like a couple of weeks ago, we made, what was it, like 30% in the week for signals? Something like that, eh?
I think it was 50s, wasn't it?
I think that was last week. But then the week before was like 30-something. 31, I think.
Yeah.
The week before in signals. But we didn't send a signal on Monday or Tuesday.
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
that's right, yeah.
That gets me, was when people are like, oh, where are the signals? But they don't understand, like, that's when I know, oh, like, this guy doesn't know how to trade.
Yeah.
Doesn't understand, like, things have to set up and, come into a POI or wait for a change of character or that. You just gotta wait for the plan. Like
38.
Wait for the 38%.
Yo. And then
Crazy.
15,
Gotta wait for that plan.
9.
And like getting in as a beginner trader, like that's something that people don't really take into consideration either. Is like how much you have to be waiting.
hard out.
Such a waiting game, man.
Yeah. It's not necessarily like you can finish mahi, go home, look at the charts and be like, trade that.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be waiting for that shit all day.
Yeah.
I think like as a beginner, you have to experience that yourself
Yeah.
because you're not gonna understand either way.
Yeah.
Like you can't just tell someone to be patient when they don't know what they're waiting for.
Nah. I think, yeah. And like I said that to a lot of people too, like when they first start out, like I ask them a question or I explain to them like, you have to learn, like there are things that you're going to have to learn from your lessons. Everyone has to go through it, but like a lot of people hate that sort of like losing rejection type of mindset because it affects them, I think, you know. Whereas sort of if you try and have that psychology, like how many lessons can you actually learn before you become profitable is like the key thing that I think helped me was, you know, for example, say that we were talking about it last night, eh?
Yep.
If there was 100 lessons that you had to learn because you're going to lose from it, like would you make those 100 like losses or whatever instantly, like as fast as you could or not, you know? And then just learn from, you know, why you should always put a stop loss.
Oh, Hardy's still in that one.
Listen to what I say, not what I do. You know, like, yeah, bro, shit like that. And that's the craziest thing is even, like, because it's all human error, you can never be, like, super, super, like, robotic when it comes to it. But learning from your lessons as fast as you can is going to be the key thing to becoming profitable very, very quickly, and that's what I try and, I guess, promote.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I don't necessarily display that myself all the time, and like I never put excuses, but it's always one of my things too. Is like I should always just be trading at the computer, not in bed.
True. Hey, you trade in bed though.
Yeah,
You trade in the Mecca drive-through.
But like, yeah, like the difference between that is when I'm like, if I am trading in bed and put a trade in bed, is a notifications come to my trading view. So like I've already set it up and stuff on my computer. So if it comes to there on my notification, it'll say like retracement back to 1 minute point of interest, enter into buy. And so I'll see that come through and I'll be like, oh yeah, sweet, chuck it on. Same thing that happened in Macca's the other night. But it came in, but because like you never know where you're gonna be.
Yeah, hard out. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's gonna hit. Yeah.
when it's gonna hit your alerts, bro. And so
that's why I'm always at my computer. Just live at my computer.
yeah.
Like I thought about like installing a urinal right next to my computer.
Yeah, bro.
That's the worst shit. Is like when you go to the toilet and come back.
Yeah.
And you've missed the trade.
Oh, I'll tell you. A lot of times that happens.
It's crazy though. Like, I don't know whether it's like a thing that your body just does because you're like experienced that before, where you're like nervous to go into a trade or not. So like gives you an excuse to.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
And because I've been learning a lot about the subconscious lately, I try and like take all of those factors away. But when you talk to like other people, of like the things that they do, like why they miss trades, it's like, oh, like I was watching the chart, but then I popped away to do this or that, and like in my head, I'm like, that just sounds like an excuse.
Scared.
It sounds like an excuse to me, bro.
That's what it is, though. You're trading your fears and your hopes, not money.
Nah. Yeah, and like trading is a very emotional thing. So question for you is, if you were to start again, we'll start with you. If you were to start your whole journey again, what would it be like the key things that you want to do or how you would become to where you are now? Like knowing everything that you know now, what would you do differently to become profitable quicker?
I think first of all I would tell myself, hey, you see that $10,000 course? Don't take that again. Oh, you're gonna regret that one.
Solid, though. Solid.
Nah, but like, yeah, like you were saying, like learn as fast as you can, and learn as much as you can, and then figure out what works for you. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have like a big as puzzle piece, but it's not solved, and then it's just gonna be like it's all there, but it's not put together. So learn as fast as you can, but also learn like just get your head stuck down, lock in, and then just actually figure out what makes you work, like what makes you tick. I think, yeah.
Nice. What about you, bro?
For me, I think like failing fast is definitely what you want to do. You just want to learn quick. I'd probably trade demo longer than I did.
One day.
I probably do demo, but like, because when I was trading demo, bro, I was just putting in like stupid lot sizes, and I'd be like to my missus, like, man, I just made $500,000 today. Monopoly money. But like, yeah, if I had a 100K demo account, I'd trade it like if it was a real demo, like a real 100K funded account. So, and just going into like A+ setup trades. Like I try to tell myself every time I can start my trading day, like I've only got like 5 trades for the day, and I still think that's heaps. So I'll like make sure that those 5 trades are A+ and get into those. What else? Maybe start off after you've done like your demo account. Maybe start off with like a small live account, just to get the man. Because when you trade real money, it's so different. Like the psychology is way different to trading a demo account. There, I'll probably a journal from the start, just to gather data. Get some data. That's probably actually that's one thing I'll definitely do is journaling, and stick to like 1 or 2 pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's sort of similar for me too. Like I've asked that question. I've been asked that question quite a lot. Like, where would you start? Blah blah blah. And like my whole knowing what I know now, where I would start, like first of all, would be learning the right things. Like learning from someone that actually is profitable.
Yeah. Facts, man.
Because you get so many people out here that are selling you $10,000 courses. And like, teaching you how to
It's a watch list.
It's all.
Oh, easy as 10 grand the bro, mate. But learn from someone that's profitable, because like if you can see his stats and you can see like this guy making money on a consistent basis, it's easy to be like, I want to know everything that guy knows. And like it is very hard in like the trading space too, because you get a lot of people that are selling courses, but not necessarily showing you what their profits and things are, their profit and loss, their win percentage, things like that are. And so you sort of get tricked into the whole marketing side of things, because that's huge in trading. And like sort of just scams a lot of people.
Yeah, if you're in a signal group and they're giving you a 80 pip stop loss, get out of that, G. Get out of that signal group.
Oh, what is that? I've never placed in my life an 80 pip stop loss.
Oh.
Like if you're doing an 80 pip stop loss, man's just trying to hold that trade for like 2 years. God damn. So yeah, like that would be my first thing, learning from someone that actually knows what they're doing. Second thing is, like you said about the whole demo thing, I would practice my live trading on a demo, but I would also practice my strategy through backtesting, FX replay or replay on TradingView you can use. But that's a big one because once you know a strategy, if you can practice that strategy based on previous data, it's going to be the exact same as future data because the market moves the exact same because it comes down to patterns. So once you learn that, I would just, like I do it now, like I just go in there every single day for 30 to 40 minutes and just smash a fixed replay, try and find the setup consistently and just continuously just go through and go through and go through. And I think that was like, I think that's like the biggest key. And like when I started like mentoring, not necessarily doing the education platform, but mentoring like last year, a lot of the stuff that we did, I made you do a fixed replay, like whilst we're on call.
Yep.
So I thought doing that, it would put that pressure on as well to like performance in front of me. But also you get to ask the questions and stuff. Like a lot of people will get really, really nervous doing it in front of me. And like that shouldn't be a thing. But it was
I was like, do I enter?
It's, yeah. Because you want that pressure. Like when it comes to trading real money, you have to have, you know, your wits about you because, yeah, you don't want to get into that habit of like consistently losing. So putting yourself under pressure whilst trading your, you know, FX replay or whatever, that's what you want to do. So that would be something that I do, practice on FX replay, but also maybe get someone that you know to, I guess, watch you. And like every human like has that, I don't know if it's a thing, but like wanting to perform in front of people. So what is it, like accountability?
Yeah. That's it.
Keeping accountable.
Yeah.
So that was like, that would be the key thing. And then after that, like you said, would be starting on a small account. So starting on like a $100 account. Because even with a $100 account, like most people can afford to lose $100. Which with leverage trading, all we're trying to do is make percentages on our account. So for example, if you're trying to do like 5% a day, all you have to do on that $100 account is make $5. And like a lot of people find that hard, and it's crazy because like when you see like me I put videos out on TikTok and stuff, like making I don't know what 50% in a trade or making like
That's crazy.
30%. And they're like, people are like, bro, not even hedge funds are doing that. Like, and they think that I'm lying. But I think the difference between a hedge fund doing it is hedge funds have billions of dollars. So one, they don't have to risk like a maximum, like heaps of their account, like 1% of their account to make another $1 billion.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Like that's why they're only making 20% whatever a year, is because they can do that. Like with $1 billion, if you make 20%, what's that? 200 million, right?
Yeah.
Hey, like what? Like I would have to. Yeah, it's crazy. Whereas with like retail traders, like people like us, you know, even risking 1% of your account, like I wouldn't even think a hedge fund would do that. But for us to be able to do it, and we can make like a 1 to 10, 1 to 15 trade, that's a lot of money. Yeah. And when you look at the compounding factor of it, if you can be consistently profitable on a $100 account, getting all the way to like, you know, $200, for example, like that's increasing your account by 100%. So if you can do it on a $100 account and you can journal and you know exactly why you're entering those trades, pulling out at certain areas, or just doing like a fixed R&R method, you know, there's no reason why you can't do the exact same thing on a 100K account.
I don't.
So those would be my three things to starting out. And I think like if I was to do it now, I think I would be profitable within like at least 6 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to like anyone that's wanting to get in. They're like, they always ask, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to blah, blah, blah. And like I always tell them, because it's true, is it depends on you as a person, like how fast you can learn, how bad do you want it, like what you can contribute to your learning experience within trading. And like from your guys' knowledge, would you say that anyone can learn it?
Yeah, bro, definitely. Like, you just got to put the work in. That's it. Because like, it can be so simple. It can be so simple, eh? It's just like I think the hardest thing is like learning all the terminology and all that stuff. Like when you first start, you're like, holy heck. Like when I first started, I didn't know what bulls and bears was, bro. And I had to learn that.
Yeah.
But it can be so simple to learn. And I think you're right. Like once you get the strategy, like when you learn the strategy and you can backtest that, and then when you're doing it live, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And like, oh, bro, this is like a hack in the matrix. Right?
Trading, eh? Yeah.
Like a little
That's
GTA
unreal.
glitch.
Yeah. It's a cheat code, man.
Money cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct, bro. Like once you know something, and I think that's something big that I struggled with too. Once, because like I used to just trade GJ when I first started, trade GJ on trend line breakouts, and then because when I think back, I was just doing London session. I would trade GJ trend line breakouts on the 5 minute, look at nothing else,
Yeah.
and like it was easy because if that setup came in a London session, I would just trade it. Like I'm entering, that's what I'm doing. And if it didn't come on a London session, I just wouldn't trade that day. I wouldn't go and try and find it. So I think that was like the small thing that I found early in my career was being able to do that, but just sticking to one thing. When I started to try and find, like other strategies or like other ways, that's when it like sort of went a little bit haywire, is because the things that I knew before to like what I know now, like wasn't really correlating. It wasn't like something that I could apply to like all of these different things that I was trying to trade. And like even to this day, like I hardly trade GJ now because what I know now and how I trade now, which is mostly SMC, I don't really, it doesn't really work out for GJ because GJ is like very like WICK, or like it takes too long to set up for what I'm looking at. But with GJ, like once it does set up properly on those higher time frames and then you're waiting for those lower time frame things to happen, bro, it can run massively.
Right, that's crazy.
But yeah, that was like a thing that I struggled with, was learning too much. I knew eventually, like once I knew like a lot of what I know now, like once I knew it and once I could apply it into the market, it would be a game changer. But yeah, so like getting to the point where I was learning a lot more than what I originally knew was sort of, a little bit hard getting to that point. And I used to just think like if I just knew one thing instead of knowing a lot of different things to play into all of these different factors, I would be fine because I'll just wait for that one thing to happen. And then once it happened,
Hard out, man.
Whereas like the things that I know now, like all of the technical stuff, all of the fundamental stuff, all of the politics, and bro, like it's mean because I'm actually way more profitable for it right now than I ever have been. But getting to that point of like knowledge, getting like all of that journey, it makes it hard. But it also makes the trading a lot better because you become a lot more patient because you know of that shit that's going to happen.
True.
But
Right, how about we get into your origin story?
yeah, let's go for it.
Where did it all start for you?
Where you came from.
Where did it, bro? So like before this, I was in real estate. So yeah, it was good, bro. I was in real estate for like 6 or 7 years. Started when I was like 20 in Wellington, selling houses, and like that was a whole journey on its own. But when it came to COVID, like not being able to like sell houses was, the driving factor for me to try and find another income. So, like I had been investing in like, what was that app called? It's like a New Zealand app, like
Sharesies?
Yeah, Sharesies.
Yo.
I chucked some money in Sharesies, and I was doing that like on a weekly basis because, like I had read books about, like Robert Kiyosaki, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and guide to investing and things. So I used to play his game a lot, Cash Flow 101.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that one?
Oh, it's a mean game. You should
Yeah.
play it one time.
Yeah, bro. Like
Oh,
it's from Robert Kiyosaki. So it's pretty much teaching you habits of like getting out of the rat race.
Sure.
So when you play the game and you're in the rat race, you give like big opportunities or small opportunities. So a lot of the small opportunities was like buying stock at lower prices and then waiting for it to go higher and then selling.
Yeah.
So that was like a key thing for me getting into like the whole investing scene. And then that's when I bought Sharesies and started looking for different stocks to buy.
Yeah.
At that point, it was only like New Zealand stock, and they brought the US stock in later, which I started like buying into things like Nvidia.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
Oh, bro, this was like 2019 or something.
Have you still got the video?
Nah. Oh, my whole Sharesies gone, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
You took it all out to go trade in, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Bro, so I had like Nvidia, I had
Damn.
bought a little bit of Tesla. Bro, even like I had bought Bitcoin at like $1,300. Bro, it went from 1,300 to like when it had that first bull run to like I think it was like 27,000 NZD, and that's when I took it out. Like it was mean. I made some money like from it, and like I was super stoked. And then everyone when it started coming back down, because it went to the high like real quickly, and then like a couple of months later started coming back down, and like I started pull my money out, got a win. Like I was stoked, and everyone was talking about like crypto and shit are gonna fail, bro. Now. No way, like looking at Bitcoin, looking at Nvidia, looking at Tesla, Apple stock, like all of that is like, bro, that's like long term. That's looking at it hindsight though, you never know what's going to happen in the future. But that was the background where I sort of got into like the whole trading, not trading scene, but investing scene, and then going out of going into COVID and like coming out of like real estate, I had to either sell houses to make money or I had to find another income, and started looking at like more investing videos on YouTube, and that's when a lot of the day trading stuff started coming about, and I started looking into day trading, and it was more or less more about like options trading, like trading stocks in that, rather than like Forex. And then on Facebook, like that's when all of my algorithms started pushing all of this day trading stuff to me, and I found a course, and I'm not too sure whether I should say the name, but used to be with this like MLM company that was like selling the course, or like a trading course to learn, and like there's still it's still around. There's still a lot of other MLM companies that sell like Forex trading, things like that, but it was really helpful. Like it showed the basic understanding of like what Forex or day trading was, and then like you could jump onto like calls and stuff with those educators or mentors, whatever you want to call them, but it was the same for me. Like they didn't really have a reason why these things were happening. It was more or less, once it does this, do this, once it does that, do that. And like for me, I'm not sure whether it's like my personality or something like that, but I always have to know like why things are going to happen. So that's when, like, after I found the basics and understood it, I started to get into the other side of it, which was like trying to find another mentor that was going to be able to like teach me why this is happening, because like the market, like understanding what it is now, like the market's not random. And like back then, like in my head, I was surely like, the market's not actually that random. And like knowing that, people that are buying into like stock is like, people like you and I, it's not controlled by like some sort of computer or like to like get people out. It's more or less human psychology. So sort of just having like a little bit of an understanding of like that, I sort of wanted to get to the point where it was like, why would they be going into buys here? Why would they be going into sells here? Like, if you look at the markets, you can see those big moves happening. like how can you catch those types of move? And
So were you trading a live account then?
Yep.
So a live
Bro,
account.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I started with a live account, like, because I didn't even understand what like a demo account was until like
True.
8 months into learning. And so like when I started, I put $1,000 into an account, bro, and like within a week, I lost $800 of it.
Yeah.
Bro, like yeah, and like that's
What was your risk though? What were you risking? 1%?
nah. So like I actually knew what
Did you have a stop loss?
nah on some of them.
Oh.
But like I knew what all of that stuff was because I had done the basic side of it. But I was trading like $1 per pip, and so I don't even know why. But in my head, I thought like if the market is gonna move $1,000 opposite to what
Gotcha.
1,000 pips away,
Yeah.
then that's the only reason I'm going to lose all of my money.
Yeah, true.
And so I never had a stop loss because, yeah. And like I just made these experiments, which was like I'm going to go into like a trade here and then I'm just going to watch it. And I just watched it go into drawdown like $300, which was like 300 pips, and then come all the way back up.
True.
And like for me, I was like, what the you know? I mean, it happens because like that's what you call like a fluctuating market when you're going between a range. But I never really understood that. But doing like these little experiments like that was sort of just like a way for me to like understand like that, market is going to like not stick to, but like it follows the history that it's done. So entering it, I would say at that point would have been like a higher high.
I see.
And then coming all the way down to like a higher low, which that was when I was in drawdown, and then going all the way back up to like a new higher high.
True.
But not understanding that at that point. So that's why I didn't start using stop losses, but I didn't like over risk with my lots because I was only trading $1 per pip. So yeah, but and then I was talking to someone about it, and they were like, "Bro, you need to use a stop loss." And in my head, I'm still like, "Why though? Like, I'm not over leveraging.
Sure.
I'm not going to lose all of this. Like, the only reason I'll lose it is if it goes down 1,000 pips, and like for something to move that much very, very quickly, like it's not something that often happens unless you're trading news.
That's right, yeah.
But even with news, like the most that moves is like 300 pips, sort of thing. Started implementing stop losses, and I started losing.
As you do.
Started losing, bro, and like that's where my whole like, why am I doing that? Like, why am I using a stop loss? Why am I doing this and that?
Damn, so that's where the stop loss thing came from, eh?
Bro, that's where my bad habit then started playing out, because like I was winning more by not having a stop loss than having a stop loss and losing less money. Does that make sense? Yeah. And like even now, like when I am scalping with no stop loss, I am only doing like very small lots because that whole mentality, because I've done that experiment. I'm not like, I don't even know if it's an experiment or whatever, but I know that like, for example, say that I have a 10K account and I'm trading one lot, it would have to go away 1,000 pips for me to lose it, and like for that to happen. But knowing what I know now, it's like all of my entries are near perfect, not near perfect, but like at points where it can turn. So obviously the decisional points of interest or the extremes, because I understand what I understand now. But back then it was
That's crazy. So then you found that mentor. You're trading your live account, and then where does it start to become like Rihari'S?
Oh, bro. So I ended up finding this mentor. I won't mention who he is because it wasn't really like an official thing. But he really helped me in terms of like giving me advice about the different things on what I should be focusing on, what I should be looking at, like all of that. And sort of just giving me questions, the answers to the questions I had, which was like, why does it come back to like these certain things and then start to go up? And that's when I started like exploring the whole SMC side of trading. And that's what actually made sense to me, was why the whole SMC thing happens, which is like it's a whole it's a whole thing to like learn all of that, and it goes really in depth. But if you go really in depth to the whole SMC, you get the full understanding of like why things happen in the market because of, you know, either market manipulation or market psychology, and then you go into like market timing, market structure, all of that different stuff. But I learned a lot of that off this guy, and then that's when so it went from $1,000 minus 800. Didn't trade that, and then like was only trading like 10 cents on it, because like I didn't want to lose that money, but took that $200, and eventually over the next I think it was about 8 to 10 months, took that $200 all the way back up to like 1,500.
Damn.
Yeah, which like what was an achievement in my eyes. Like even then I didn't really like see the whole, if I can do it from a $200 account, like imagine if I could do it from like a 20 grand account or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't like a thing for me. It was more or less like I didn't end up losing my $1,000.
Yeah, true. True.
So
you
that
traded
was
that live account for 8 months. That one live account.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And that's when I started focusing on like just doing the GJ stuff, like the trend line breakouts, and like that was making sense to me. And then whilst I was doing the GJ breakouts, learning more about, you know, smart money concepts like points of interest and high highs, high lows, low highs, like all of that stuff, which started making sense. And so I got a real good understanding of the whole technical side of things, which then took my trading to like a whole new level. And like it wasn't until, and so like the whole background of like the whole SMC thing was, I understood it like fully, but once I understood it, that's when the excitement started to come back. And then I ended up losing again because it got to the point where I was trying to trade everything. Like, yeah, it's done that, it's done this, boom.
Yeah.
You know, thinking it's like a full-on hack to, you know, the market moving like that, because you practice and you see it all the time in hindsight. But, yeah, it just wasn't working out. And it was more or less because I was getting in at like, you know, if I was trying to go into a buy, I was getting in the premium zone rather than waiting for it to come back to like discounts. Yeah, just I guess trying to get in and like make money ASAP because I thought I had the cheat code.
The secret sauce.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, so that's the whole journey from like getting that mentor and then getting to this point. And so once I got to that point and started to become like consistent with a lot of stuff, like one of my good friends who helped me start all of this, he was like, and like that's when I started helping other people too, like free. Like I was just, you know, trying to, they were like, bro, like that looks mean, like because I was chucking it on my stories and stuff, like, man, did all this, and like never really like had in my mind that this was going to be like a whole thing. But chucking it on, then people like messaged me like, bro, what's that? And I was like, oh, just like investing, trading, blah blah blah. And they're like, bro, like, can I learn? And I was like, oh yeah, like sweet, like, and I'd show them, like we'll just jump on Discord and like we'll just trade a little bit of things, and I'll like show people this, show people that, and then didn't really realize there was a whole actual thing until, bro, I had like 20 different people that were like asking me to help them, and it was like taken away from me trading because it was more or less us just jumping onto like London session and then me like teaching them. And so that's when like my friend was like, bro, you should just turn it into like a course. He was like, bro, just, and then like that's when we made that PDF that everyone gets now. So that was like the first thing, and then ended up just giving that away. And then everyone was like, bro, can I get that? Can I get that? And like, and then it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, ended up giving away like a lot of copies, and then it was sort of like, bro, like, why don't you just sell it?
Oh,
I was like, nah, people won't buy that, bro. Ended up selling it and like sold a good fair amount of them.
damn, I'm gonna sell that Notion template. That trading plan now.
Bro, thanks.
Better download it quick before it goes in front.
Bro, honestly. And like, because like the amount of stuff that like people would buy just to try and make that extra money, I was
Sure,
like,
yeah.
bro, that's nuts. Yeah, anyway, that's where it all started, like sort of getting into the whole Rihari effects or ambitious investing, like side of things. And
But how long did it take you to become like beginner to profitable trader, like consistently profitable?
me personally, bro, it probably took me like 14 months.
Oh, okay. Shit, that's still pretty quick.
Yeah.
Quick in terms, yeah, like I found that like quick in terms of seeing other people that are on like YouTube
Yeah,
that
yeah.
have been like trading for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But then you still watch their content now and they're like, what are you doing? you know? As opposed to like me teaching you guys my strategy and like you guys are picking it up in like less than 6 months. Like that's the whole crazy thing. And like I watch some of the YouTube people and I'm like, bruh, like some of the people that I teach are better than you. Hey,
Thanks. Straight back.
because like you watch them and like the way that they trade or like the way that they're doing stuff and
Hey,
it's
just
like,
call them out now.
oh, bro, it's crazy. But so it took me about like 14 months to actually become like
Sure.
proper.
Yeah, because me and you were talking about it yesterday. You were like saying that like last year was your actual profitable year.
Yeah, like my full on like first profitable year. So 2020 November is when I started learning. 2021 was like the year of like, losing that $1,000, building it back up, blah, blah, blah. And then 2022 would be like the year where I started like getting sort of excited going into F&C, like sort of starting the whole selling that PDF and starting the ambitious investing stuff. So it was sort of like my, I guess, like break even year.
Yeah.
Still had like enough money saved and stuff from real estate, which was good. But then going into last year, like last year would have been like my first full on like actual profitable year. Like over the Christmas break between 2022, 2023, like I usually would go away on holiday and stuff, but didn't go anywhere. Like just full on, because I had found at that point like FX replay, back testing, all of that stuff, like had fully immersed myself into the whole, I understand everything now. Going into 2023 was my most profitable year. And like even by, I don't know, like first couple of months, like in start of like one of the days in February, like that's when I made the 110K in a day.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. It's like 100 and something trades that you took.
137 trades I took.
And what was the win rate on that?
Oh, bro, I don't even know what the win rate was. Like it was massive. But I remember that whole day perfectly because I was trading it like the day before. I had lost, I don't know, like maybe $7,000. Bro,
Straight into a
Wait. Is it a live account or
live
Hey,
account,
that's
bro.
different. Hey.
that's a pretty tough like to go from a $7,000 loss into a profitable day.
Bro, I don't know what it was about this day. Like I had lost the $7,000, and then like I had gone just like all the emotions was coming at me, and I was like, do I even know what I'm doing? Like I need to prove to myself if I can do this or not. And so I went into the next day, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to make this money back. Like that's all I wanted to do. And like I said to the guys that I was trading with, I was like, bro, I just want to make the money back, like $7,000. By, I don't know, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Asian session, I'd made $5,000.
Damn.
He was on a roll.
I was on a roll. And then like at that point I was like, oh, fuck, I'll just go have something to eat and then I'll come back for just before London session. Come back London session, bro, and like it just carries on. Like gold's just moving. I was just trading gold, scalping gold.
Yeah.
Gold's moving. I was using my scalping strategy that I was trading at the time, in and out of trades, and I had gone from like $5,000 to about 27,000 by like 10 p.m. London.
So London's just started,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, London's just started, and like at that point I was at $20,000, and I was like,
Keep going.
Damn.
bro, honestly. And then like going into this is when I first started getting into like the fundamental side, was going into New York session. I think it was FOMC was coming, and bro,
No, the story's out the gate, G.
As soon as you hear FOMC.
FOMC's coming, bro. And like at the time I was on this other guy's like course, and like he's explaining like what should happen, like Jerome Powell, Uncle Jerome Powell was my guy, bro. And so gold at that point was at 1960, like it had reached the limit 1960, and then it just started dropping. At 1960 I was in buys. Bro, and like it had come down, and then it was like getting so much volatility going into NY. It had come down and then comes back up, and I'm like, fuck, like, is it gonna push up? Like, getting rejection from that point, and then I was like, oh fuck. Went into sales, like pulled out at a loss, whatever. Went into sales, and the sales just kept dropping from that point. Like it's out of nowhere, bro. It just kept dropping, and I was like, holy shit. And then like those two, I was in it at 5 lots, every single scalp, 5 lots, bro. And so like it was dropping from that point, and like the trades would go like $1,500 in profit, $2,000 in profit, and I'll just take it. It would come back up, and I'll just boom, boom, 2 trades again, and like it just kept dropping all the way, and like, bro, I was just going in and out of trades, like taking profit, and then I was just like, I don't know, like an hour had gone past, and I had just been doing that whole like system of waiting for it to come back, going in.
Is this the scalping strategy that's on the course? Oh, shucks.
Yeah, because all I was doing is like, because you know how like we're trading lower low, lower high,
Yeah.
like, and we get pullbacks on those trends.
Yeah.
It was just doing that, and I was just like, every time it did that, like into another 2 trades, into another 2 trades.
Just on the 1 minute.
Yeah. And not just on the 1 minute, bro. And like, I didn't even know by the end of it, like, that I had made that much. I didn't even know how much I was making at the time. I was just in and out of trades, boom, 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 boom.
So how much did you end up with?
110,000. But like, I actually, at one point, I had gone into like buys again.
Yeah.
Because it was selling down. I had gone into buys again. I was up 127,000. And then I had lost, I don't know, like 17,000. I just decided to pull out because I was like done. Like mentally, I was just like
Drained.
Yeah, you know. And so I just pulled out and like finished, and like I had a look, and it was 110 grand. I was like, what the fuck just happened, bro?
Hey, for anybody who's gonna be listening, don't trade FOMC. Not like that.
Bro, it was crazy. And like for that day, I sent a screenshot. I screenshot it and like sent it to my mates that I was training with at the time, and they're just like blown away, and I'm blown away at myself, and I'm just after that, like, you know, I had all the confidence in the world.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But that's crazy to go from minus 7K, negative 7K drawdown,
hard.
then up to 127, and then lose 17 and be like, oh, I still got 110. What the heck,
Bro, it was, yeah. Like, I mean, pulling out of those trades, it was more or less like I've made this much, like,
Yeah.
whatever, what's that loss? You know, not trying to be greedy and like hold it so that I win 127.
Yeah, true.
And so, yeah, that was sort of a turning point for me, like knowing that I had watched these other people, and like, you know, you watch people on YouTube and they're like, you know, I won 10 grand, 15 grand on this trade. And then coming from New Zealand, I just won $110,000 in a day. In my head, I'm like, bro, I'm better than these guys.
You would be at that type of high, eh?
Bro, it was
So
crazy.
how much would that have been New Zealand?
No, that was New Zealand.
Oh, so that was
I
New
was
Zealand.
trading New Zealand
Oh, true.
currency.
Oh, I see.
Was it?
Yep.
Was this Blackpool?
Nah. It was Blueberry.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That's when Blueberry was operating here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when that started happening, and so after that, that's when I started getting into like all the other stuff. Like they offered me partnership with like Blueberry and that, all these different like perks, and bro, it was nuts. Like heaps of different stuff just started happening after that point because people had seen, like even the broker, like they had seen the money being made, so they're like,
True.
you know, here's all these other different perks that you get as like a partner of a company. But yeah, it was crazy, and like with that happening and going into like my year that I wanted to become profitable, it sort of just solidified that everything I had learned and everything that I was going through to get to where I wanted to get to. It was just a big confirmation for me to be like, I know what I'm doing.
Man. That's what I'm waiting for. Just waiting for that moment.
Bro, but like 38,000.
Yeah.
But that's funded account.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you do it on a live account,
Yeah,
that's
that must look
crazy.
different, eh?
It just like knowing that it's your money
Yeah.
and you can
true.
like pull it out whenever you want, and so pulled that baby out and went and bought me a Ranger.
That's crazy.
Cash. Yeah. That was a nutty time. That was crazy.
So this is last year.
Yeah, 2023, February last year. And if you want to have a look, go February last year. I guarantee you, price went to 1960 on gold.
True.
It came all the way back down to like, I think it was like 1800 or 1840. And like going in like hindsight, like seeing that all of that happen, if you go back and like now they're knowing SMC, if you go back and like have a look at it, 1960 was a point of interest on the, I think 4 hour
Right.
from previous history, from the previous like 2020 build up to COVID.
I
So
see.
it had come up and it had like got resistance from that point, and that's why it dropped.
Yeah.
So to understand what I know like now, there was a 4 hour point of interest where price was coming back up to like huge supply zone, like a lot of rejection from that area. So in hindsight, like probably would have went into a sell alone just off
Just
that,
held it.
like looking at it.
Yeah.
But at the time, like not even understanding what that was, but going into like what I knew at the time, which was like my scalping strategy, in and out, like yeah. And so as it came back down to like below 50% on the retracement, and then you can have a look at the chart, and it has a 4 hour push happen, which is like changing character on all of the time frames, all the way up to the 1 hour. So getting change of character on all of those time frames, pulls back again to a 4 hour point of interest, and then from that point pushes to the next higher high. So the next, like going into like the 2000s at that point. And like it's crazy to like have a look at the market now. Like I went back and like I had a look at it now, like knowing what I know now, and like probably would have went into a buy then as well after that happened. But um, at that point, that's when I started like with winning that amount of money. Started to like get really serious about it. Really serious about like my trading plan, what I wanted to achieve, like what I was trying to do as like a trader to get to the point where like I've seen a lot of these YouTube guys doing, and like knowing knowing what I know now and like how they trade now, like I see that a lot of it is just like a marketing stunt. Um, and so like now it's sort of like getting to the point for us where we can be on that same sort of reach that they have, but being able to like um, I guess display all of that like with actual fact of all of these different things that we can use now, like TradeZella or like if my FX book or things like that to display your statistics and like the trades that you're going in, because like back then I knew nothing about it.
Mm.
And like knowing if I knew what I knew then, like to be able to display all of that, like that would have been crazy to be able to do. And like I've screenshotted all of the profits and stuff and put it on my Instagram,
Mm.
so people can go into like my profits highlights thing and like have a look.
Mm.
But when you just display things like that, like a lot of people just think it's fake.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Just like when you see numbers, like outrageous numbers.
Yeah.
Surely
Yeah.
not. Because like, what do you reckon? I mean, like, was it last week or the week before you pulled that gold trade, and that was what did that end up?
Was it the buy or the sell?
The buy,
The buy, I think, yeah, long one.
the buy, and then the sell. Yeah, go. What was the buy, and then what was the sell? Like, 'cause that's crazy.
So the buy we were taking from the massive push up that we had. So in the last year, so this is where it all came about, because at the end of last year, I was with a friend of mine who was in the training me in the gym, Thornton City Fitness.
Oh, true.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, who?
Hey,
Who?
my bro Nico.
Oh
Yeah. Shout out to the bro. So he was training me in the gym, and like um, I
Training?
seen, eh,
what are you training?
chest.
Oh, chest and eyes. Right,
Oh.
London City, not city. Okay, yeah.
No.
Anyway,
Oh, it's down track. um, so like it all started back then, and like at that time, gold was at like 1800. He come down back down to 1800, and I was getting like notifications that there was war breaking out in Israel, and like from what I understand and what I know now, like whenever there's a pandemic in the world, gold reaches new highs. And so that came out, and I said to him on the Sunday, I was like, bro, as soon as the market opens on Asian, go into a buy on gold. And that was when it was at 1830. As soon as it opened, like you can have a look at the Monday after the war started. There was like one candle that just went, and bro, it was nuts. And I looked at it, and like at this time, I was on the way home in my truck, and I was waiting for it to come on, and it went to like 10 o'clock, I think it was, when the market like actually opened.
yeah.
No, it wasn't Asian session, but the market you could start trading again on a Monday. Got to 10 o'clock, bro. Couldn't put a trade in
Why?
because like it just wasn't allowing it,
Oh,
and it wasn't until like 10:03 that you could put a trade in.
true.
And like at that time, like the market already like pumped, and so like I was just trying to put a trade in, and like yeah, got into a trade then, and then like market pushed to, yeah, and then it started consolidating for a couple of days, and then from that point it just started going up. So that was like where the whole um, buy bias started coming. But with like the whole recently in the last couple of weeks with everything that's going on, gold pushing to new heights, and all of this other stuff with like the Ukraine, um, Russia, all of that. That's when like the whole thing started again, and all of this news started coming out. Gold started pushing to new heights, um, and I try to we try to start finding new buyers, and one of these buyers was actually on the signals as well, but was more or less like a quick buy, because it had pushed up and then it started coming back down. So it actually had been like a mean buy for gold, but then came back down and like hit stop loss. So it actually hit TP5, but then obviously didn't continue because it had come and hit your stop loss. But I was in that trade, and I had set my stop loss like below the entire range instead of just the POI. Um, and one day I just wake up and it was after news, and like gold had pushed the way that I wanted to, and like I was in profit, so my stop loss was there, break even, whatever. Um, so I wasn't going to lose. At that point, I didn't even really care. Like I had won, I don't know, 3% for the day. Um, and like gold is at 2,100 and like 30 something, and well, it just pumped. It was just news, and it just pumped, and like I woke up and it was up like 40 grand, and like at that point I'm just like, wow. And like one of my rules now is like try not to pull out too early, like going back and having a read of the chart and like, you know, because understanding, like knowing what I know now, understanding market structure, you create high, high, higher, low, blah, blah, blah. So that's my trading plan. And so I had a look at it and I was like we've palmed enough that even if it does come back and I have my stop loss here, I'm still gonna win like 10 grand. And so at that point, I'm just like, I'm just gonna do that and leave it, see how it goes. Not understanding that it could push like all the way to, I think the new high right now is 2,430. Um, and like it just kept going and just kept going and going and going. And I wasn't even moving my stop loss. I was just leaving it like I can win 10 grand. And it got to like, I don't even know what it was. It was like, I was up, what, 200 grand.
That's crazy. One
And
trade.
yeah, one trade. And I had held this trade for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. And like even my swaps at that time was like, I think like 18,000. Because I'd held this trade for so long and like the interest that was incurring on it was just, so my swaps was like giving me money. Um, and like at that point, I just decided to take it. And like at that point, it still kept going, but I just decided to take it then. And then, so that was that trade. And like it wasn't like necessarily like I knew it was going to do this. It was more or less because I was so much in profit, I just put my stop loss in profit and then just held it.
Mm.
Like it wasn't, and I was just reading the market over and over again. Like,
Yeah. And you had the news bias. Like
yeah,
that shows like the importance of fundamentals though.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
like,
bro.
I don't see many people teaching fundamentals.
Yeah.
And to like come into the course and, get a better understanding of fundamentals shows
But and
win
that's
big.
the game changer though. Like fundamentals when you are trading is like something that can like change your whole game. Because if you can relate your technicals and your fundamentals, like your winning percentage is just going to go sky high. But not only your winning percentage, your average win per trade, like in terms of a 1 to 3, like you could take your 1 to 3 average to like 1 to 8 if you understand that. But so that was that trade, and then the other couple of trades um, was just pretty much trading the pullback to the 50%, um, and like the trade that I actually entered where um, it like just kept dropping was a gold signal that we put out again.
True.
Yeah, but
Oh, you gotta put me on those signals,
because you weren't on the way.
bro.
No, it wasn't.
No. Still waiting.
Oh, you're not still not.
No.
Oh,
Oh, really?
I'm sure I've added you anyway. So yeah, it was a gold trade, and like I just ended up holding it longer than everyone else because I knew it should be coming back down to like a 4 hour 50%, which it did. And then after that, like um, price ended up getting that change of character. So I was still like going off the same thing. Like my stop loss is like 5 grand in profit. If it comes back up and hits my stop loss, I'm still winning. So my whole psychology of losing is out the window. Like I'm not caring. So um, that's like a whole nother level that you want to get to is like taking a trade to being risk free. Um, and so at that point, like price had pushed down. I think it was like 90 grand it got to. And at this point, like I'm still not even pulling my trade out because I'm like, "Fuck, what if it just keeps going?" Knowing that it was at that 50% retracement, which is what we wait for. I think it was even at like the 618 on the fib. And after that, we did get that 1 hour change of character, and then price started coming back up. So um, I ended up in like pulling that trade at like 40K or something.
That's so crazy,
Yeah.
man.
But like to think that you could have had the 90.
Yeah, how do you deal with that? Because I'll be in trades and I'll be at like a 1 to 8 or something, and then I'll pull out at like 1 to 5.
How do you deal with it?
Yeah.
It's still a win.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Still in profit.
Yeah, like because like if you think about it too, like yeah, I could have had like an extra 50 grand. Yeah, like but I think like the way that you just try and for me, it's more or less like money's money. Like trading's not going to go away.
True.
You can make that like if you're consistent with like everything you do, and like I've gotten to the point where I can find trades like this, these swing trades that I'm holding for like a week or two, um, that can happen. So like winning that much, it's like still winning what say 40,000 for example. Um, it's still more than what like an average New Zealander makes. And so like why would I be unhappy that I missed out on 50 grand when I still made 40 from losing absolutely nothing? Um, and when you look at it from like a percentage perspective, if you're winning a 1 to 5 instead of a 1 to 8, like you're not losing, you're still winning 5%. It just comes down to um, the fact that like you you have to take into consideration like your trading plan or what you're wanting to do. Yeah, just being able to stick to your trading plan and understand like the percentages that you can make on a regular basis is going to increase your account. And once you have your account to a point where, say that you make 5% for a week and your account's at $100,000, like it's still $5,000 just for trading a couple of hours a day. Finding one trade a day that runs 1 to 5, like you're making $5,000 in that week, where like most people have to go to work the entire month to make
True.
$5,000. So that's sort of the perspective that I put on it in terms of like how much money that I could have made compared, and like even like after that, the other trade that I got into recently, like that was the one that I held the most. So like last week with PPI? So with PPI, how whole what do you call it? Our whole perspective was that PPI was gonna buy. It would come back down to the point. Called this accurately, like 100% too.
Yeah, I got like hooked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me.
So this shit's for real. So called that like to a T, what it was gonna do, came back and then started pushing up. Like we knew it was gonna buy, but didn't know where it was gonna come back to. So it came back, started to buy, and that was going with the whole perspective too. But the sell that I was in from wherever it was, like I actually got out of that trade at like only like 2 grand profit. So I was up on that trade like 60,000.
Nah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was this one?
This was another one.
Oh
This was like the other one after the original sell. So
Yeah.
the original sell that went to like 90,
Yeah.
pulled out at whatever, but
Yeah.
it came back up and started to push down. So I got into another
Right.
sell. It was only like from like last Friday to like PPI.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it started to come down. And then from PPI,
Oh,
what
that
was it?
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was up like 60 grand on that. Um, and I think I put some stories up about it. Anyway, yeah, I did because it was like, was it Monday? And it just kept dropping.
Yeah.
And it was like, start of the day that, and then end of the day this.
Yeah.
I think I actually got to about 50 anyway. That trade, I actually ended up only pulling out in like 2 grand profit. Because like I just held it to see like, not to see anything really, but thinking that like price was going to continue down below that 50% area where we got that pre PPI prediction that it started coming back up. I don't even know why. Like I got that change of character, and like that's our first confirmation for prices starting to change.
Yeah.
Didn't pull out. Uh, pull out green nut strong, bro. But yeah, so didn't pull out of that, and then yeah, we obviously got the prediction for PPI, and then CPI came as well, and we caught massive trades off of that. So yeah, not even mad that I could have made like 50 grand and only made two. Not even mad that like these trades that I could pull at like certain areas could have like I could be like another 100 grand richer. But
Because then I guess it's like from what I'm hearing, it's like like yeah, I potentially could have made this, but then you're like, I'll just get on the next trade.
Yeah, pretty much. And like once you get to the point where you have an income and you're a full-time trader, um, like it's more about the winning. It's not about making money. It's more about your knowledge of winning the moves that are going to come. Like for me now, like the side benefit of trading is money, whereas the whole um, mindset for me is I want to be the best, and like being the best is like just winning the most trades, having the most win percentages, being able to call like the biggest swings or something like that. Which is like a goal that I'm sort of trying to push to is, be the best trader that I can be, but also um, just trying to improve myself better than other people that I know in the market. The side benefit of that, and I guess the way that we keep score, is the money, like how much money you can make off certain different things. And like once I get, um, my account to like certain points, like my overall goal is to have like a $10 million account,
Like live account.
live account. $10 million live
Hey,
account.
Hey,
But-
why stop there? Hey,
Because if I can make, say, for instance, like what do we make the other day? Like 38% or 51% in signals?
yeah, 38% last week.
Like if I can make, say 20% a week on a $10 million account, that's $2 million a week. Like, so that's
Hey,
my next
That's gonna
goal.
be us. Eh?
That's the next goal I'm trying to get to, bro. And like I'm nowhere near there, but that's I just keep progressing, keep growing my account, keep getting to the next point, seeing how far I can go, all of that.
Yeah.
Crazy. So crazy. Talking to Hari the other night, and he was saying he goes to bed and he looks at super yachts. Oh, how confident this man is.
Bro, that's like my favorite thing to do is like when I go to bed, I like look at Trade Me. Trade Me is like a website in New Zealand that like you can buy stuff from, and like I just look at it and like I make my watch list of like Lamborghinis and like Ferraris, but there's like a few super yachts on there. But these super yachts are like 34 mil. But when you're like watching people like Eamon Ghazi, like bro, that guy's insane. He's just bought a jet, like a $30 million jet or something, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's you like in 2 years time. Hey.
bro, and like that's the crazy thing. Like, and you look at people like him, bro. He's been doing it for like 8 years, like the whole content side of things.
Oh, true.
I watched a video about it the other day. Like he's been on the grind for like 8 years, and then you think about like the grind that where we're sort of starting. Like we're so early into the
I know.
space of like creating this type of wealth that it's like once we get to that point, bro, it's like
So he's been in the content game for 8 years.
mm,
Yeah.
So if you were in the trading game for 8 years, it's like a
Jeez.
whole another
Yeah.
level of wealth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because like these other things that we have coming out for the business, like bro, that's like taking our game to like the next level, and like the profits that we make from like our trading and stuff is gonna be crazy. So, bro, I'm just here for the journey, waiting, like being patient, not only in the market but being patient with like the entire journey, trying to enjoy the journey rather than focus on like what the outcome's gonna be. Um, because more or less, like if you don't enjoy the journey, then getting to that point is going to be pointless. Like, yeah, it's basically either trying to create that money, or like winning lotto. Like people that win lotto more often than not lose it all because they don't know how to like sustain that wealth.
True.
So yeah, just trying to enjoy the journey.
If you want to join the journey, you can find us at Ari's Instagram bio. Well, what's the website?
Ambitious Investing.
Yep.
.co.nz, or any of the socials really. Ambitious Investing, Rihari'S, Trading, TikTok, Instagram. Don't even know what we're going to call this podcast. This is our first podcast, and we're just talking about everyone's journey. But yeah,
Hope you enjoyed.
hope you enjoyed it.
See you on the next one.
Please
Let's
like and
go.
subscribe. Put the noties on.
Yo, tell you what I want, what I really
Tell me what you want.
what you really want. I wanna be down. Wanna dig it.